Hello, good afternoon. Today is day 13 of Bookoplathon and September. Autumn is in full swing. It's been raining, it's been thundering, there's yellow leaves everywhere. I love it. Reading update, almost done with this. About 60 pages left. It's a really strange book. Like, nothing speculative happens, nothing at all, but there's this air of it. I cannot explain it any better. It just feels surreal. Maybe just because the things that are happening are so strange. It's steeped in politics, but also the politician, the General Zia, who is one of the main characters, and he is painted as such a deeply troubled man. And I read a review somewhere when I was looking up this book that somebody said that this was interesting but disrespectful. And while I understand that, like, if you are someone who admires the history of Pakistan, for example, or a Pakistani person, or a military Pakistani person, I don't know who the reviewer was, or why the reason was why he thought this was disrespectful, but I think that I understand that it can be disrespectful to paint real historical figures in a way as if they are literary characters and you know them and you know their inner workings. But at the same time, I think it's an interesting fictionalized look at history and a what-if scenario. I'm really feeling for the second character in this. His story is just very emotional. There was also a sex scene in here that I didn't expect at all, just came out of nowhere. So that's a thing. But also, I want to show you something. So this is my favorite yogurt. It's called Marika. Marika is like a shortened, sweetened form of the name Maria, which is Mary or Maria, right? Every Christian country in the world, every language in the world, I think, has an equivalent of this name. So Maria is a Ukrainian name. Russian language, also has the name Maria. This yogurt used to be called Mashenka, which is the Russian equivalent of the shortened, sweetened form of the name Maria. And this yogurt disappeared from a couple of my local stores for the last couple of weeks, and I was like, why? I mean, what's going on with it? And today I see it, and they changed the name to the Ukrainian equivalent. De-Russification of my homeland is going full swing. Yes, we've been changing street names, and just so many things have changed their name. I like it. Excellent. I'm gonna eat a Marika and read some more. Look, it's a chestnut. Do you want it? Do you want the chestnut? Go. Oh, happy chestnut! This makes me so stupidly happy. Hi. Okay. Today is day 14. Wait. Well, it's past midnight, so it's technically day 14. But I haven't been to sleep yet, so it's day 13 of Bookoplathon. I just finished this. 4 stars. Amazing. So glad I read it. So happy I bought this on a whim at the secondhand bookshop. I just saw it and I thought, it looks interesting. Whatever the hell that is. And my superpower of forgetting the synopsis of a book right after I read it played a role in this, because I bought it and then I read it about 2 years after I bought it and I could not remember anything about it. So this is about the Pakistani general Zia al-Haq, who was the 6th president of the country, and his plane crash that happened in 1988. His plane really did go down and he did die, and a lot of people that were on the plane with him, I looked him up. He was a controversial figure. I don't want to talk about it here because it's a political issue and I don't know anything about the politics of Pakistan, but that's a thing that happened. This tells his story and the story of all the possible ways why this crash might have happened. Maybe it was somebody's curse, maybe it was somebody's planned attack, maybe it was a coincidence, nobody knows. And this also introduces Officer Shigri, who is the son of a decorated military colonel. I don't like this word because I cannot pronounce it. And his father died, and it's about him processing that and his role that he played in the crash. I felt for Shigri, and by the end I felt sorry for him and for what happened to him. This was very witty, and I think it's deserving a read, whether or not you know anything about Pakistan or its politics or the general. Even if you don't know about the actual event that happened, I didn't know that it happened before I picked this book up. I think it's still worth the read, even if you don't think about the actual event that happened. And this can just be an interesting narrative, an interesting story to consume. I really enjoyed it. I'm having such a good reading month. I am scared. I am so scared. My next read is... One second, let me look up the prompt of Bookoplathon, what I rolled. I rolled blah, 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 blah. I rolled letter, and the letter that the random letter generator gave me was O. And for that, I chose this, Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. Isn't this just a beautiful cover? I've never seen this cover before. I feel like I say that so much. Like, I buy books with covers that I've never seen before, and it's so surprising for me every single time. I don't know why. This novel is a piece of autofiction, which is a fictionalized autobiography. This is about a girl who was adopted into a fanatical Pentecostal family, and she embraces the ways. And when she needs to convert a woman that she feels for, she realizes that she might love somebody more than she loves the religious way of her family. And this is a story, this is a coming out story, this is a coming of age story, and I think that it's going to be amazing. I love Jeanette Winterson. I only read one book by her, but it was so good. And it's one of those writers, when you read one book and you think, I just want everything by them, every single thing they ever wrote. I felt that way with Jessie Burton and Stacey Halls and Shirley Jackson and Jeanette Winterson. So I'm going to start it, it's 3 in the morning. I'm going to start it now, okay? I'm going to go and sit down, some more coffee. I'm going to start it right now. Also, yeah, I'm all loopy. I feel weird. I don't know what's going on. Sorry. I'll talk to you in the morning, I think, with some daylight. I hope you're having a good reading month. Look at her little face. Weren't you asleep, little lady? Go to bed. Come on, go to sleep. Really quick update. 12 pages into this. Not even into the novel part yet. This is the introduction. And I need my sticky notes, because I want to tab something on every single page. But I cannot find my sticky notes, so I'm going to use this washi tape, and don't you judge me. Good afternoon. Day 14. I read a little bit of this, and outside of the readathon of Bookoplathon, my Bookoplathon TBR, I started reading The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I read, Mexican Gothic last year, and it was 3 stars. I really liked the atmosphere in it, but overall it didn't leave that much of a lasting impression. But that's weird to say, because I remember it well, and some of the elements of it I think about a lot, but I just think that it was a little heavy-handed sometimes. But I'm enjoying The Beautiful Ones so far. It's much more of a romance than I thought. I thought it was going to be more of a kind of like a political fantasy for some reason. Even though in the synopsis said that it's a little bit of romance, so far it's mostly romance. But it's about this girl, her name's Nina. She has a little bit of a telekinetic ability, and in this society it's improper for a woman to develop that ability, and she gets involved with a man who is a performer using this ability. And it's nice. You know, I like stories where there's all of these society rules. I think it stems from my love for Victorian and Edwardian literature and historical novels in general, because I really like when there's some societal bullshit implemented. I think it's fascinating how many rules people can install onto themselves to make their lives more complicated. So far I'm enjoying it. I'm reading to a little bit of it on my tablet and listening to a little bit of on ebook, on audiobook, when I have the time, but mostly I'm reading the TBR book. Also, Alice, can I please, I'm sorry, baby girl. Also, we have a stationery shop nearby, and I went and I got some sticky notes today. These are the transparent ones, the ones that you can like see through the writing on the page. But I hate the neon colors. I want the pretty ones, you know, like the ones that you see sometimes in vlogs of people or on Instagram, where they're like patterned and stuff, or they got a little shape. And I got these. They're adorable, but they are not transparent. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use these often. Come on. In books, because they're going to be covering up the writing. But, for example, in this book... Alisa! In this book, see, there are large margins and a lot of space at the top. So I could possibly stick them here and like cut off a little bit at the end if I want. Or I could stick them here so that they all stick up at the top, which is, I think, okay as well. Because I want the pretty ones. I can still use my washi tape. It's transparent, sort of. But I don't know. I'm thinking way too much about this than I should be. Now it's yogurt time and work time, and then some more reading time, and then walking this little girl time. Ear. It's 9, so there's 2 hours till the curfew, so I have time. Yes, I'll update you later tonight, and yeah, see you in a second. Aww. Don't be afraid. I'm holding her. Oh, it's a baby. I want to take the baby home. It's your small baby. Oh, so gentle. His name is Tigra. Hey, girl. Say hello. She's like, no, what do you want? Are you a silly baby? Nom nom. Behold, the sweetest dog in the world. She lies like this next to me sometimes and puts her head on my shoulder for sleeps. Sometimes she sleeps on my legs, and sometimes she just does this. Bob, Bob. Why? How does she know? She's so sweet. She also grinds her teeth in her sleep. Why do you grind your teeth? She's like, let me sleep, woman. Oh, also, yes, forgot to update. I'm reading this, started this. I'm like 20 pages in. Yeah, exactly, 20 pages in. So far, it's really good. It's very Shirley Jackson so far. And Daphne du Maurier. I don't know. I'm saying that because it instantly reminds me of my favorite novels where a house is like a character of its own, where a house is an entity and a big part of the story, which is one of my favorite things to read. And I hope that this is gonna be excellent. It's chestnut season. I want one too. No, this one's for me. No, this is mine. This is my chestnut. I'm gonna play with it. Yes. I'm taking them home. Alice, come on. Hi, today is day 18th of Bookoplathon, 18th of September. I already filmed this part of the vlog yesterday, but I was filming on the right side camera, the back camera on my phone, so I couldn't see the screen while I was filming, so it filmed my head up to this point. So I have to redo the whole thing. But I'm actually glad about that because I have more things to show today. Okay, how's my reading month going? I finished a couple of books. Okay, so my list. The next read after Mrs. England was Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. Here it is. I finished it last night. 5 stars. Amazing. I love it so much. Jeanette Winterson is once again cemented in my head as one of the best writers in the world. This is an autofiction novel about Jeanette, a young girl. She has been adopted as a baby into a fanatical Pentecostal family. This is about her relationship with her mother, with the church, and with her coming to terms with the fact that she's gay and coming out. It's a coming-of-age story as well, and it's beautiful, and it spoke to me in a lot of very personal ways, in a lot of very human ways, and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. If you want to read a short book, if you want to read LGBTQIA+ fiction, if you want to read a fictionalized autobiography of Jeanette Winterson, if you have an interest in her, this is for you. It's just beautiful. I'm going to include this into a recommendation video as well that I'm going to probably film today. So 5 stars. My reading month is going so well still. After that, the next one is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit, and then I rolled Mood Read. For Mood Read, I already read The Beautiful Ones by Sylvia Morena Garcia. So look at this cover. My tablet is like catching light, so I'm probably just going to insert it here. This cover is gorgeous. I would have told you the name of the artist, but I opened the Instagram on my phone, so I don't remember the name. I'm sorry. I'm going to put it here and put the Instagram in my description as well, because it's such a beautiful cover. I'm in love with it. What this book is about. It's about a world based on La Belle Époque, and but in this world, telekinesis exists, and it's like a normal thing. So I could say that this is magical realism. But telekinesis, whilst existing, it's still kind of seen as a show thing, you know. There are men who perform on stage showing their telekinetic feats, but it's improper for a woman to display her talent if she has one. And it's about Nina, who has this talent, and her first grand season in the city. And I'm not going to pronounce the name of the city because all the names are French, and I have issues with pronunciations of French words. I'm just going to ruin them, so I'm not going to say them. Nina meets Hector. His name's Hector, sorry. She meets Hector, and he's a performer, and she falls in love with him, and she needs to find herself a match with the help of her cousin and her cousin's wife, who is some kind of character. And I thought that this was going to be a fantasy with like some societal intrigue, but this turned out to be almost a straight-up romance. I don't read just straight-up romance for the sake of romance, so it was a little bit boring in that regard for me, but about only 150 pages in, I realized that there's not going to be more of the telekinesis, like none of that stuff, so it's just mostly about Nina and her like love story. But I enjoyed Nina's character, and I enjoyed her. It was kind of a coming-of-age story. It's kind of coming to terms with who you are story, you know. Even though she didn't have an issue with who she was, a lot of other people did, so she had to battle through that. And I gave it 3 stars. It was just fine. I gave Mexican Gothic 3 stars as well, but I'm going to keep picking up books from Sylvia Morena Garcia because I think she can really write, and I think that there might be a beautiful, beautiful gem there somewhere one day. Maybe there already is, because I haven't read all of her books. Okay, so next one. Next on my list is The Little Stranger. For the prompt is big book, more than 500 pages, and this one is 501 pages. Please do not mind this, I slept on it. I started it before bed, and I got 30 pages in, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So far, it's reminded me a lot of so many of my favorite novels, Rebecca, and We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and basically it reminded me of a lot of books, 30 pages in, like it can remind me of whatever, but it so far feels, it has that big house, big mysterious house where something is happening, and that is one of my favoriteest tropes. So it's a chunky book, so I hope I can get through it pretty fast because I have 3 more left this month and I want to read them all. Also, I want to show you something. My friend Katarina from England, hi, Kathy, are you watching? She's the best person in the world because she sent me a Switch. I'm going to unpack it now. There's also a copy of Animal Crossing with it. I've never played Animal Crossing. When Animal Crossing New Horizons came out when COVID started, everybody was playing it, and I was just there like, you know, I don't have a Switch, I don't have anything. My family was pretty broke when I was growing up, so I didn't have... Oh, there's a little controller! What, is that a controller? What the hell is this? I don't even know. Oh, it's a thing to hold it like this, yeah? So you put it here. I don't even know how any of this works, because like I've never had anything like that before. I don't know what this is. What is this? Look, it's the little guys from Animal Crossing. It's so cute. I'm obsessed. So what I was saying is that when everybody was playing Animal Crossing, I was just watching Plumbella on Twitch all the time, and she was playing Animal Crossing a little bit, and I can't remember. I cannot. It's cute. I cannot actually remember if Plumbella was playing Animal Crossing. She's playing The Sims mostly, and I think on Twitch she was playing mostly Sims in the beginning of the pandemic. But a lot of people were playing Animal Crossing, and it was like, remember that summer when Pokemon Go came out and everybody was obsessed with it and just playing Pokemon Go, and it was just such a big cultural moment, and people were having so much fun with it. So I feel really blessed to have a friend such as my friend Katarina, who I hope is watching. I'm going to play with her and with our other friend, and just... Sorry, I got distracted. I know that for now it's very hard for post offices to travel between Ukraine and other countries. Like when Kathy sent this thing to me, we thought that it got lost or stolen because the tracking number showed it, just kept showing it near her, that it didn't even leave the country. But it arrived today, and I'm so happy that it did. And even though it might be hard for me to send out presents through regular post this year, I have a lot of friends in different countries. So especially I always... Sorry, I don't think I can speak today like a normal person. I have a lot of friends in other countries who I met over the internet, and a lot of my friends from Ukraine are now in other countries because they became refugees because they have children, small children that they had to take out of the war situation. And I will probably just be going to ordering a bunch of presents for everybody. I assembled it on the internet for Christmas and stuff. So, Katarina, watch out for presents. Everybody watch out for presents. Also, by the way, if you want like Ukrainian paraphernalia or like a magnet or a kitchen magnet or anything with Ukrainian symbolic from Ukrainian, leave me a comment and I'm going to message you and I'm going to send you whatever you want. Because I can and I want to. Okay, so now I'm going to assemble the Switch, turn it on and stuff, and see what it does. And I'm going to read and drink more of my coffee and work, and hopefully I can update you tonight. Good evening. Day 19th of September in Bookoplathon. I'm finishing The It Girl by Ruth Ware, and I legit just shouted so loud that I woke my dog. Fuck this book! You fucking bitch! Miss Ware? With all due respect, what the fuck? I'm okay. I'm happy with the ending. Like, everything that I wanted to happen happened. Kind of. And it did surprise me. I did not predict the ending. There were 2 predictions from me, and they were both wrong, and I'm so happy. Because I would have been mad if I was right, and you didn't get surprised by this book. But I thought that this book was breaking my heart, and then it's... Why do these thrillers give me so many emotions? Oh my god! I gotta go have some tea. Hi. One last update for today, I think. I just finished The It Girl. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but that is a dumbass reason to kill someone. Oh my god. Well, I mean... Cannot wait for the live show at the Literally Dead Book Club to talk about this book. Good morning. It's raining. My little lady likes to look out the window. There's a windowsill where the books live and the switch lives. And she just likes to be here. Hello. You know you don't like the rain. Don't look at me like that. Are you ready for sleeps, little dum-dum? Yeah? Here's your blankie. Here's your toy. Look at her dumb face. Oh. Yes, go to sleep. It's the synagogue that I showed in one of my previous videos. It's like a book. I'm gonna link it here so you can see what it looks like when it's closed. There's a little balcony up there that you can come up into. And that's a menorah. It's a memorial to the Jewish people killed here during World War II. Good morning. I didn't sleep well, can you tell? Today is September 22nd and I need to post this vlog today. But I don't want to post while I'm in the middle of a book. I'm about 200 pages into The Little Stranger and I love it. I only read one other book by Sarah Waters, Fingersmith, and the construction is the same. The setup is very long. At only about page 150 did something plot-wise started to happen. Everything else was just meeting the characters, setting up the just setting and everything. I love it, but I just know that it's not for everybody, and I wouldn't be able to readily recommend it to anyone. Well, I mean to everyone. So it's gonna be a ghost story. I really want it. It was a little bit scary even. Like, it's just, I don't even know how to explain. It just reads like this gothic ghost story, and it's great, and it's excellent. I just signed up for Dewey's 24-hour readathon, which is going to be October 22nd in a month exactly, and I'm finally not going to miss it. Every single year I miss it. So I'm going to have a lot of fun there, and now I'm going to go and walk some more of my dog. That's an excellent turn of phrase. She really wanted to go walkies, and then we came out of the building and it's raining a little bit and it's wet, and she's like, Mother, what is the meaning of this? Look at the baby. It's a baby. Oh, I want to take him home so much. You are so cute. Hello, doll. This is where I need to sit. May I sit down? That face probably means no. Hello, good evening. I have a sore throat. I don't like talking right now. I'm almost halfway through this, The Little Stranger. It's really good. And again, it would be hard for me to recommend this to a lot of people because it's very, very slow and full of detail that I know a lot of readers will probably deem unnecessary. But I like a long, slow burn, sprawling story. So this is beautiful. Also, rest in peace, Hilary Mantel. I just saw it on Instagram, and I'm ashamed to say that I haven't read any of her books, even though they've been in my TBR for years. And I know that I will read those books. I really want to read the Crumble trilogy and a lot of her other work. I know that her loss is a great loss to the world of literature. So I just wanted to address that. Now I'm going to read more of this, and then when I can no longer read, I'm going to play Animal Crossing and rest, and hopefully this isn't COVID, and I'm not going to be too sick to read or work or do anything in the week that is left of this month. So I hope your September and your readathon, if you're doing any, is going well. And I'll see you later. Slava Ukraini!